welcome to Development Heaven, the eldritch horror of podcasts. I am your Frankenstein, Vincent Marinelli.
And I'm your Dracula, Glenn Cagle.
You didn't put the teeth in. You gotta put the teeth in. We gotta do it again.
Okay, well, alright, take two.
Take two.
And I'm the Dracula, Glenn Cagle.
Gross. And then we're done with that bit.
Okay, teeth out.
Teeth out.
That's enough of that.
Knuckles cracked, headset on.
Knuckles cracked, headset on. Wine pour?
Wine poured. So, this is, of course, our Halloween special. So this is the first episode we've recorded face to face. That's
true.
We have a new setup, and of course, Glenn is still interrupting me.
First publicly released one that we've recorded face to face. We did do the Christmas special from season 0.
So that was over
a year ago. Almost a year ago.
Yeah,
almost a year ago.
No, you're right. It feels like we've been doing this for longer.
It is surprising that we've been doing this for as long as we have.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel like we've been doing this for a year to me.
Anyway, to make it a holiday special, of course, we are drinking wine.
Some spooky red wine. Is it blood? I don't know.
The scariest drink of all. Glenn. Okay, and just by the way, this is Vincent. A little peek behind the curtain for you. We know you don't want to listen to our... the sounds of us drinking, so we're going to keep that to a minimum. But Glenn, hit us with that cork pop.
Satisfying cork pop?
Yes.
I like it.
All right, and that's
the cork
all.
Did rip.
Oh, dear.
No, we can edit that out.
All right, give us a pour then.
All right. Say when. All right, cheers, lad.
Cheers. Of course, if you want to play along, a little fun drinking game for you. Every time we say something fucking really dumb, take a shot.
You will die.
And then die by the end of the podcast.
You will perish. Please don't. I watched a YouTuber that had to give disclaimers because people would play drinking games. It's like every time he places the wrong block in Minecraft, take a shot. And he's like, yeah, you will actually die.
Okay. So obviously, don't play along if you're driving. That's about where I'm at.
Just pull over and listen to it. In your car on the side of the road.
Yeah, why not?
That would actually be really spooky.
Sure, there could be a Jason outside of your car window. You don't know.
That could get you really in the mood for a spooky podcast.
Yeah. You know what I love? Just Halloween culture is the fact that we replace words.
Okay.
I'm talking specifically about the idea of instead of spectacular, everything during the month of October is spooktacular, is boo-tacular, whatever you would call it.
Okay. There's some bad ones out there, though.
Oh, horrendous. The worst.
Frankenberry?
Okay, if we're just going to talk about the cereals, I mean, Count Chocula isn't great. But I want to do that with
That's definitely the best one. No, Blueberry is the best one, obviously.
Fruit Brute sucks. Because Brute is...
What is that from?
It's that's one of the monster cereals. The Fruit Brute.
There's only the 3. Blueberry, Frankenberry. Those 2 are the same, by the way.
Yeah.
And then Count Chocula.
Count Chocula, as well as Fruit Brute and Yummy Mummy.
I don't think so. Yummy Mummy's pretty good.
I'm going to take this off, by the way. It's uncomfortable.
What is it that you're taking off, Vincent? For our audio audience.
Well, I am wearing little Frankenstein bolts, but I couldn't find a Frankenstein costume, so I instead dressed as Parzival from Ready Player One.
With Frankenstein bolts.
And
Glenn... I am steampunk tails jacket with fangs.
You're just a bad Dracula, but that's okay. No judgment here. My point is, what's the phrase we can replace Hello World with? Goodbye World feels too easy, right? It feels kind of cliche. What's something like
Goodbye Cruel World.
How about what's a good, you know what I'm thinking?
Development Hell.
It's kind of obvious.
Cuz the thing is Development Heaven is already a play on Development Hell.
Right. So at that point it's redundant.
Which is the all the changes that your favorite pieces of media go through.
Oh yeah.
Was that smooth?
It was smooth. We'll get to it.
We've been going for a while.
What about Here's Johnny from The Shining?
Okay.
The classic Jack Nicholson line. What if instead it's Here's Crunchy.
Oh God.
You like that?
Okay.
Okay.
It's the with that computer, the original computer that they got to print the text on, and it was and it's Hello world.
Yeah. So here's Crunchy.
Here's Crunchy.
And welcome back
Crunch-ageddon.
to Development Heaven. So
the Crunching is a sequel, and then the third one is the threequel is Crunch-ageddon.
This is good. Return of Jafar.
Crunch-ageddon, Return of Jafar. Yeah, okay.
So Development Heaven. We can't do just Development Hell. What about Dead Development Heaven?
Okay.
Dead Development.
Don't develop dead inside.
Dead Development Hell. No, we still
don't develop dead ideas inside.
Glenn, this is nothing. I'm sorry, but I can't even back you on that because that's not going to sound good or make sense.
Dead ideas. That's what we have here.
Dead ideas? All right, so here's where we're at. Here's Crunchy, and welcome back to Dead Development Have End. Like end. How's that? Is that anything? Here's Crunchy, and welcome back to Dead Development Have End. And I forgot the rest of our intro, but we do we talk about canceled video games.
Or something.
Or something. We talk about Development Hell.
A little bit more of or something this episode.
A little freeform. Take a shot now if you're playing along.
This is your cue.
Put on 3D glasses now. I got Glenn to choke on his wine. We're talking about PT this week. We talked about, it's Halloween, it's horror themed, and I literally can't think of any more prominent canceled video games that relate to horror than PT, and clearly nobody else can, because in doing my research, people are still talking about it. It's like you're getting articles every single day about updates to PT, and here's the update. Still not happening, you guys. It's still canceled.
Yeah.
I saw a really great article today while I was doing my research that's like top 10. It was a top 10 list, which immediately, so good. Top 10 things that were canceled. Were
wrong with PT?
No. Okay. It was like top 10 things that...
you missed in PT.
Essentially, it was like stuff that was like left on the cutting room floor when they canceled Silent Hills, the video game. PT, of course, it stands for...
Playable teaser.
Not quite. Physical therapy.
Podcast trainer.
Podcast.
We need a podcast trainer.
Oof. Pickle. Trick.
Yeah.
Pickle tickler.
Pickle tickler. Okay, I'm into that.
Hey.
I would get Lisa to pickle my tickle.
She's pretty hot. But of course, until we get into that, who goes first this week, Glenn?
Well, there's not a whole lot of going first since we're just kind of talking about PT together.
I refuse to accept that. Give me a challenge.
Okay, here's your challenge, Vincent. We're going to reach our hand into this bowl. We're going to blindfold you real quick, okay?
Okay.
Go ahead and put on your blindfold.
It's on.
Okay. I'm going to hold up this bowl, and I want you to stick your hand in it.
Yep.
And I want you to tell me whether it's brains or pasta. And if you get it right, you go first. If you get it wrong, then you have to eat the pasta.
Deal.
Okay. Ready? Feeling around. Tough call, right?
Hey gang, it's me, Vincent. Just a little peek behind the curtains here. Glenn has in fact handed me a bowl of undercooked macaroni elbows.
Vincent cooked it.
I'm not wearing a blindfold, so I can't be fooled by this. It is, of course, brains. So Glenn, was I right?
No.
I guess that means you go first then, yeah?
It means you have to, yeah. We have to eat the pasta together.
Oh shit, did you say you have to eat the pasta?
That was the goof. Let's each have like one noodle.
Okay, one noodle?
One noodle apiece. Wow, it tastes like pasta. Without butter or salt or sauce.
Salt.
Let's talk about PT.
Let's talk about PT.
What does it stand for? Packing those testicles?
Ooh, that's fun.
Pat my testicles.
Pat my... Please... Try. Please. If you could. This is challenging. PT is a...
Pretty terrible.
Hey, that's actually good. The opposite of that. So Pretty Terrible is what it stands for on opposite day. So do you actually want to go first? Because I have sort of a little introduction to PT that I can give it for the folks at home who might have never heard of it. If you're like if you're like 5 years old, maybe, if you're Glenn Cagle, or you're 5 years old.
Okay, wait. Do you want to give your intro first, and I'll give my opinion on PT?
Sure.
That's a good format.
Set your mind back for a second. The year is 2014. The PlayStation Network has just released a free game called PT, developed by
7780s.
7780s. How should I say 7780s?
7780.
Developed by 7780 Studio, PT was a first-person psychological horror puzzle game. That wasn't actually. It was made by Hideo Kojima as like a teaser. PT stands for playable teaser. Spoilers for Silent Hills, a canceled video game.
You keep saying Silent Hills. I'm pretty sure it's Silent Hill. There's only one.
Silent Hills was going to be Hideo Kojima's entry into the Silent Hill franchise. Called Silent Hills.
See, I'm missing a lot going on here. I'm not a PlayStation guy.
Yeah.
I've never owned a console.
But Silent Hill isn't a PlayStation exclusive. Was it? People.
In 2014, I was mostly playing Flash games.
At the time, I was making video games. Okay, so
not good ones.
Not good ones. Yeah, the Silent Hill game was cross-platform. It was everywhere. You couldn't get away from it.
Yeah. Actually, the Fox engine, which is the engine that it was made in, was created to be one of the first ever cross-platform engines.
Right.
Like engines designed to be cross-platform. Obviously, there were cross-platform games before that. But this one kind of like optimized and streamlined all that.
You're going to tell me something about PT, your opinions or something.
I was going to say something. I didn't get it.
Okay. Interesting.
I didn't get it.
I would like you to elaborate.
It was just, it had, what's his nuts at the end? And I was like, okay, Norman Reedus.
Norman
Reedus. At the end, I was just like, okay, cool, I guess.
Yeah, man.
Neiman. It was just like this looping hallway kind of deal. And like, due to market forces, dads have been killing their families.
Right. There's definitely a theme of like familicide, patricide, however you would call that.
Patricide is where you kill your
patricide
father.
Is where you kill your father, so familicide.
Infanticide.
Yeah.
That's where you kill a woman that's pregnant.
PT has been described as one of the most immersive horror games of all time.
Interesting. Why is that?
Well, you get very familiar with the setting. Like you said, it's a puzzle. It's a horror puzzle game, but it's all set essentially within a singular. What's the word? Like
corridor.
It's a corridor. It's a foyer.
Sure.
Cheers, lad. It's a hallway that you go through. It's like L-shaped. So you go down one hallway, you turn, and it's just that over and over and over again. And it sounds a little monotonous, and that's fair. There's definitely a part to that.
I definitely stopped watching at one point.
But the horror of it is that it's like it's a thing that you become very familiar with. You understand this hallway, and
when they corrupt it, it's disturbing.
It's disturbing
because you're used to it.
There's one thing that I think is really interesting about PT, if you will hear my opinion, Glenn.
No.
Is that the hallway is designed in a way that's like you get to one end and then you have to turn and look, so it's not all visible at one time. So there's always a little bit of horror as you turn that corner. You know, you always get that what's going to be there.
A little bit of action, a little bit of comedy, a little bit of horror,
a little bit of romance, even.
I hope not.
Should we set up a bit earlier where we both think the ghost Lisa's fucking sexy? Are we going to continue that? Is that funny? Is that any good?
Yeah, that's good.
All right, so we're going to refer to her as the sexy ghost Lisa from now on.
Right.
A haunted spectral figure. And a shapely figure, if I do say so myself, Glenn.
Very corporeal, if you know what I mean.
Nice. And she follows you the whole game, and it's incredibly unsettling. To your credit,
no one's ever said something was settling before.
A house
settles, right? But that is unsettling when that happens. Should we pour up?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, pouring up. Pouring up, pouring out. That's the slogan for this one. I'm filling up to your middle finger. That's kind of like my play.
This one's for the boys.
This is for all y'all moms out there. Listen to this podcast late at night on a Halloween. Kids are off having fun.
I don't really like the idea that only moms drink wine because I'm enjoying this.
Are you?
And that doesn't make. Does that make me a wine mom?
It does.
You know what?
I'm
fine with that. I guess we should clarify. This is the first episode that we've recorded since we've both been 21 years of age,
which is the legal drinking age here in the States.
Good call, actually. We have Australian listeners. Listener.
Uh-huh.
Hey.
In case you didn't know.
If you're still there, I saw that somebody from Australia listened to one of our podcasts.
Now you latched onto him.
He's my best friend. He's my
your
lifeline.
misconnection now.
Yeah. Oh man.
Put it on
I hope he or she I hope they really enjoy this episode.
He, she, they.
Okay, you're gonna slosh wine on your microphone though.
What is a man?
You're making me.
What is a man but a pile of secrets? Throws wine on ground, but I'm not going to because I have a carpet in my room.
But enough talk.
Die, monster!
You don't belong in this world.
It was man that gave me flesh.
This is really good content. If you haven't picked up on it, it's a little loosey-goosey this week, this episode. But hey, it's a holiday special. What do you want from us?
Good content.
Good content.
Flesh.
Close relationships.
Closer friends.
What was the intro I came up with a while back? Glenn just got a second monitor for his computer, and it's beautiful. And so
it's pretty nice.
Our new slogan here is Development Heaven: 2 good monitors, 2 better friends. 2 monitors t-shirts coming soon.
I'd buy it.
I'd buy that for.
Would you wear a Development Heaven t-shirt out?
No. I would keep Development Heaven pogs in my pocket at all times, though. In
right.
My fanny pack.
Would you trade them?
I would absolutely trade them. Yeah, that's how you get them out in the streets, right?
Right.
That's how you flood the market with them.
Sure.
Our bootleg pogs.
Be like, hey, check this out. I actually have 2 Development Heaven pogs. You actually have like a fanny pack full of them because we get them printed.
I got the last 2 Development Heaven.
I got the last 2 that
here.
were ever made
in the 90s when pogs were.
That'd be good.
Still being produced.
That's good, dude. That's a plan.
Where are we at with PT? We've been.
I gave my opinion. You gave your opinion. We talked about the premise,
right.
which is that it's a hallway, L-shaped hallway. So there's always something out of frame. Lisa's kind of sexy, kind of ghosty, and I don't know. There's like a swinging light. There's a lot of cockroaches.
There's a baby in a fridge.
There's a baby in a sink. Fetus in a sink. And Liam Neeson. No. Norman Reedus.
So that's, of course, we've skipped out on the part of the end. So if you beat the game, you solve all the puzzles. Which, by the way, I want to talk about the puzzles for a second.
Wait, hold on. Do you mind if I ask one question real quick? Because
sure.
I'm still uneducated on
Go
this.
for it.
So you said that Silent Hills was going to be the first game of the Silent Hill series?
It's just going to be a game in the Silent Hill series, not the first one.
Was it going to be the first one?
No. How do you mean by that?
There were already Silent Hill games out before that?
There's a lot of Silent Hill games, yeah.
Okay, I don't play games.
Okay. Silent Hill is one of the first horror games on like the early consoles.
Okay. It was 90s, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Late 90s, I want to say.
Yeah. I think is it like 99?
Something like that. I mean,
like
it would have come out probably on the first PlayStation, first Xbox, that kind of thing.
First Xbox.
First computer.
Right, out on the abacus.
And were you telling me that a computer was a name of like a job in like the 20th century?
Right.
Somebody who was good at math was a computer?
Yeah.
So it came out on that guy.
19th, early 20s.
That person.
You think they ever played games on the abacus? Or on like math tools that they had?
I definitely played with an abacus when I was little because they were fun and made clackety sounds.
Do you think that 2 players ever use an abacus to play a game?
Ooh, okay. Let's develop a game real fast because that's like our whole thing. Let's develop a game to use with an abacus.
You'd have to be math. You'd have to be good at math.
Math related. My first thing, the abacus is a simple little tool, right? My first thing is I imagined kind of like a combination of a Connect 4. You know,
right,
it kind of has a Connect 4 vibe where you're like one on each side, you know, but also sort of a Hungry Hippos thing where you have half of the dots, the little beads on one side, half on the other. Each side, you know, if you're like your side is always the right side, right? So the other person opposite you, it's also their right. You know what I mean?
Kind of like politics.
Kind of like politics. Hey, nice. And then the game here is that you try to like flick the beads to the other side as fast as you
Right,
can before
okay.
the other person can do it.
See, I like that.
A lot of abacuses,
Abakai?
abacus.
Mordecai and Rigby?
It must be abacuses would be broken in the process, but I'm sure the abacus market is suffering right now because why would you get an abacus besides like the novelty? They are fun.
Little kids have abacuses. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, it's like one of those little toys that you see in, like, kids' playpens.
My parents tried to teach me math on the abacus,
Really?
but it didn't
Why
actually
not
help
use
me.
your fingers?
Well, it didn't help me conceptualize it. I learned another way, and I'm quite good at math, Glenn.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Trust me.
Apparently, you can actually do, like, logarithms in an abacus.
Yeah, totally. It's a very sufficient.
It's a good tool.
It's a good tool. It's a damn good tool.
So what I was thinking for the abacus video game
Yeah.
was like WWE, but instead of having chairs, they have abacuses, and they just kind of beat them over the head.
Okay, so that's stupid, but the good thing about that is that that's like some PS5 next gen shit, right? Because that's all that's like the particle effects, you know?
Right,
For every
okay.
single bead. You know, a chair, it's like 4 pieces. When it's broken, 4 pieces maximum, you know?
Mm-hmm.
With an abacus, that's pieces all over the place. You got shaders, you got RTX. Name
Ray
another
tracing?
thing. Ray
That's
tracing.
what RTX is. RTX is NVIDIA's proprietary thing for ray tracing. Other graphics cards are available.
High quality liquid physics.
True, liquid simulation, yeah.
Liquid simulation, absolutely.
Dynamic lighting, dynamic camera.
What would we call it? Because I
No
don't.
cuts. That's the thing in remember Dad of Boy?
Uh-huh.
It had no cuts.
All
Like,
right.
that was huge when that happened.
One of the Metal Gear games also has no cuts.
Really?
5, I want to say.
Okay, yeah.
So that's a little tie into Hideo Kojima, which would be a great segue for me to continue. But I really want to find a name for this Abacus game.
See, okay, here's the thing. There actually were, now after you were talking about that, I was like thinking, I was like, oh, actually there was really a game that you could play on the Abacus called Nim. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
No.
Okay, so basically the way it works is you have like several piles of beads or objects, and you can take any number of objects from one pile. So pick a pile, take any number of objects from that pile, and then the other and you take turns doing that. You want to be the last person to take the last bead.
I hear you. It doesn't sound like a fun game, but that's of course
Actually,
why
Nim is actually really interesting.
that's why we're rebooting it.
It's not. It's actually not even solved to this day.
We're rebooting it with the WWE IP, and
Okay.
and we're calling it NIMS.
Roll credits.
Hideo Kojima worked on Metal Gear Solid and other games such as Crazy Penguin Adventure on the Super Nintendo. He got his start. He wanted to be a filmmaker, but according to Wikipedia, none of his friends were into it. They
Don't be a filmmaker.
Yeah, they didn't support his dream, so he went into game design. This
Wow.
is kind of cool.
Kind of like me and you,
Yeah.
except the exact opposite.
You've always been very supportive of my dream to be the world's best podcaster.
And you've always been very supportive of my dream to be the world's most masochistic game designer.
Yeah, man.
Do everything the hard way.
Yeah, man. This was interesting. I thought it says that he didn't tell his friends that he was doing game design because
Okay, why?
it was not. It didn't seem like an industry that was going to do well.
It's just a bubble. Video games will blow over.
But B, in Japanese, there wasn't a good word for a game designer, so you would have to like explain the whole thing.
Oh,
and so
okay.
instead, he was just like, "I'm in sales."
What the hell?
So Hideo
I'm a
Kojima, businessman Hideo Kojima,
business boy, business lad, even.
yeah. Glenn was watching a playthrough earlier, and I was sitting there watching him watch the playthrough because that's where we're at in our relationship. That's a weird thing for me to say. Anyway, Glenn was confused about the puzzle aspects in total. Like he didn't realize there were puzzle at all. He just figured it was a very linear game where you just go down a hallway over and over and over again.
I think I specifically said that this is less of a game and more of like one of those virtual experiences,
Right.
which I have nothing against. I was actually for that.
And a lot of people actually this did win some awards, but it also didn't qualify for some awards in 2014
because it wasn't a game.
Because people weren't sure if it was a game or not.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people compared it to like the Pixar shorts before a Pixar movie. Less of it's those don't win awards for films, but they will still win awards. Just it's a different thing.
Okay.
So PT. Groundbreaking, absolutely groundbreaking. Ringing in the new age of video games, if you will. I'm not.
Okay.
The idea is maybe more people make this. Hideo Kojima specifically said he didn't want to just release a trailer,
but he did. Oh, a trailer. Okay, I thought you meant I thought you were continuing the analogy.
No,
he didn't want to just release.
He didn't want to release
a trailer,
footage
so he made
of the game.
A playable teaser.
Correct.
Nailed
Bingo.
It. Roll credits.
Give and you are tonight's big winner. Anyway, so he made PT instead. The puzzles in PT are weird. You can't play this game. There's
Wait,
a lot
what?
of you can't play PT. You literally can't do it.
I beg to differ. Sounds like a challenge.
All right, Glenn. All right, I'm going to start a timer. I'm not even kidding. Here we go.
Speedrun?
Speedrun.
PT speedrun?
No, not as PT speedrun. Find PT speedrun. And play it right now. I'm going to set a timer
Okay, I'm putting on my VR goggles.
5 minutes.
I'm putting on
And this isn't a joke. I mean, we're going to edit all of this out aside from me challenging you, you fuck. Find it. I dare you.
I'm putting on my VR goggles. Okay, ready?
Let me cut to the chase. You're not going to be able to find it. Do you know anything about Konami and all of the drama?
The Konami code? I was actually going to ask you this. What does the Konami code do in this game? Because it does everything. It does something in every Konami game.
So
could be a plethora of.
According to my really tertiary Google, it seems like.
What is a tertiary Google?
Like I didn't try that hard, but the first kind of page, the first thing that Google was telling me.
Okay, yeah.
Is that I'm sure I'm using the word tertiary correctly there.
Tertiary
I guarantee
just means
it.
like I wouldn't. No, that's not how I would use the word tertiary.
Well, you're an idiot.
I would say
it means third order in level, so it's definitely wrong.
Yeah,
I'm definitely wrong about that. And you know what's a problem is that even though I am a little tipsy, I use that word all the time.
So don't.
Oh boy.
I mean, if you're trying to say that it's not a good Google, it's not even an all right Google, it's a third order Google, then maybe.
The puzzles are enigmatic. I hope we didn't
discount that.
Yeah. Puzzles are weird. There are two.
There's no interact button.
No,
no press E to interact. No press X to doubt.
There are two features in the game PT. You can walk and you can zoom in. You have a button for zooming in, and that's it. And so you have to zoom in.
At first, I was always wondering why the guy playing the walkthrough I was looking at was just running into doors. It's because that's how you open them in this game. There's no hand that reaches out and opens the doorknob. You just kind of shoulder them open.
Well, Norman Reedus is famously telekinetic.
Right.
That's how he made it big in Hollywood. That was.
It could also be Lisa opening the doors for you. A little bit of fan theory for you.
Okay. Write that down. I think so there's a lot of contention with the final puzzle of the game. You go through loop after loop, corridor after corridor. Same hallway.
Eventually it changes.
Yeah, different things happen in it depending on the puzzles that you solve. The final one, nobody really understands it.
It's like the one that is totally different. It's got the red light and the eyeballs and everything.
Yeah. There's a lot of theories online. There's a lot of people have solved it, but nobody's really sure how they did it.
Really?
There's a lot of.
Okay. I thought you meant when you said nobody understands it. I thought you meant nobody understands what it means or why it's there.
No, nobody understands any of that.
Nobody solved the puzzle.
No, I mean that's true of the game in general. There's theories, but the game is meant to be you don't really understand it. It's more of an experience.
It's a teaser.
Yeah, and it also isn't. It wasn't going to be canonical with the game Silent Hill.
Yeah, it does say that at the end.
It was supposed to just invoke get excited for this. Silent Hill, the franchise has always been third person. So just being a first person game was this is different. This is what the game's going to be. It's going to be this engine at least, So
the other games were not made in the Fox engine?
The Silent Hill games, no, because none of them.
Because it didn't exist yet. The Fox engine, it was made mid 2000s, right?
True.
Mid-aughts.
But also, Konami or Kojima had nothing to do with Silent Hill until Silent Hills.
PT.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people think that they solved the final puzzle by by plugging in their PlayStation headset and screaming into the microphone. That is one of the leading theories to how to beat PT.
So for that to work, you would have to assume that nobody has ever beaten it without doing that.
Some people have.
Okay, so that's not it. Can't get past this one.
But
sharp as a tack. That's me. Call me super sleuth.
I mean, either it's like random or there are multiple ways to solve it.
Okay, there could be multiple ways.
But a lot of people say that it has to do with like saying, this is actually the reason, like the name Lisa is never said in the game. So how do we know that the ghost name is Lisa? A lot of people think it's because that's because you say Lisa into the microphone. It's either you scream or you say Lisa or like sorry Lisa or something like that, and that's what triggers it.
And it lets you out.
So that's how that came about. That's my understanding. So you say sorry Lisa or whatever the
Wait, but if the game never
is.
tells you that her name is Lisa, then why would saying sorry Lisa? How would you ever figure that out?
I'm doing another nonverbal reaction. Yeah. I have no idea. Is the joke? Yeah, who's to say? I never even got to play the game, and neither will you.
You almost pointed at the screen.
I'm pointing at the audience. I'm pointing at the audience right now. This is like good radio technique.
Mm-hmm.
Neither will you. Anyway, so Konami...
It's a newscaster now.
Konami had like a whole thing. They decided that they just didn't want to make video games anymore. So after the... this is all off the top of my head. I didn't take good enough notes. After the release of Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain, which was another Kojima game, he left the...
Phantom Pain.
My pain. Ouch.
Ouch. Gamer.
Kojima left Konami because they were being dicks. They decided they didn't want to make...
dicks, huh?
They didn't want to... Oh, Solid Snake, hi. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, Vincent.
So tell me, Mr... Can I call you Mr. Snake? Can I call you Solid? Can I call you David Hayter? And welcome, David Hayter, to the show. You have been... you know what we should have done? He's got like a...
What's that, huh?
We should have gotten like David Hayter to do a cameo for this episode. Like paid for a literal cameo.
I think this is close enough.
You're right. Who needs David Hayter?
Kept you waiting, huh?
Konami decided they wanted to make like slot machines in like for gambling instead of video games because that's where the money was.
Yeah, you told me about that.
And so they stopped making video games and Silent Hills was canceled. That's the reason. However long this podcast is up until now, if you've been wondering why Silent Hills got canceled, that's it. All this talent, all this amazing...
Because they couldn't figure out how to get the mirror right where you could see his face.
No, I'm sure they just chose not to do it. So that's the thing. You say sorry Lisa into your PlayStation headset.
Sorry Lisa.
Sorry Lisa.
If I look up how to solve Hideo Kojima's PT...
Hideo Kojima's masterpiece.
His magnum opus.
His magnum, yeah.
Other than the slot machines.
If you look up what? You didn't finish your sentence.
If I look it up, will it tell me, say, sorry Lisa?
I think so. Of course, the big twist of the game is you beat the game, you leave the house, the camera cuts away from a first-person perspective, fades into a third-person...
Outdoors.
It's like...
Very jarring.
It turns into a cutscene. It's revealed that you, of course, have been Norman Reedus the whole time. Move aside...
But doesn't it say, like, Hideo Kojima presents...
Yeah.
A Guillermo del Toro game.
In association with Guillermo del Toro, the famous
and Norman
director.
Reedus. And then it, like, shows his face.
Yeah. So, classic. You gotta get your good horror cameos in there.
Good horror names.
Nothing, I was sitting there, I was
good
playing PT. PT, by the way, masterful sound design, just really unsettling to the core. But tell you what, I was sitting there and I was thinking, you know what? It's not scaring me. And then I saw Norman Reedus' stupid fucking face and I was like, shit. Dude. And that's not a slight to Norman Reedus. it was so unexpected, I shit my pants.
Yeah, dude.
What would make our podcast scarier? Should we get a horror cameo in here right now?
You just made a pants transgression.
What?
When you shit your pants, it was a pants transgression.
I don't know what you're saying.
PT.
Oh, nice. Glenn, we have two things that we need to do here. We need to pitch a game, and it doesn't have to be a long one.
It doesn't have to be a good one.
Doesn't have to be a good one. Absolutely not. PT wasn't that good.
I didn't get it.
We also have to go back in time and talk to Hideo Kojima at some point, and pitch him our game.
Okay,
right?
we can do that.
Yeah.
One last back in time, then we'll destroy the time machine.
Right, and then we'll destroy it.
Like all good time travel movies.
I figure, like, to get us kicked, to kick us off on
Get
this,
us kicked.
to get us kicked in
To
the
get our
teeth
kicks.
on Route 66. I figured the formula we should follow for our pitch for, I guess it's a pitch for Silent Hills, because PT did come out. Our pitch for the game Silent Hills has to do with, like...
Well, how would we make it work?
Right, because obviously wasn't good enough to be made to work, otherwise it wouldn't have been canceled.
So wait.
That's going to ruffle some feathers.
So it has to beat out slot machines. We have to make a game that's better than slot machines, is what you're saying.
But just barely, right?
Any more than that would be wasteful.
Yeah,
Waste
sure.
of our time and talents.
Absolutely. So PT was like a viral game, and I would say, like, I'm trying to think of the timeline. It was probably an early viral game too. Like,
so if we think of like other viruses,
that's not good content.
if we think of the Stuxnet worm, and we put that,
ew, that's a real one.
it's a computer virus.
Oh, okay.
So if we actually embed this game in a virus, so that like it like when you load it onto your computer, it automatically attaches itself to every email that you send and loads it onto their computers. We can make a literal viral game.
Okay, and at that point, it's like the horror is like in real life.
In real life,
it's
yeah.
like
IRL horror.
Okay, that's not where I was going to go with this, but I actually like that a lot more. The thing that Silent Hill needed, right? So let's think about the Silent Hill franchise. PS, early horror game that was really revolutionary for like the horror video game genre. Then it became a movie that was bad. It flopped.
Wait,
Nobody
really?
saw it. Yeah.
Nobody, including me.
And then they made a sequel to that movie, and it was probably worse. But I
Most sequels are.
Yeah.
Hot take, hot on cold.
I like the idea of so the thing that the Silent Hill franchise needed is a kick in the pants, right? Like a little something to wake it up,
A little spicy.
Something to make it interesting and new, because there's so many horror games.
Well, it needs to be addictive because slot machines are addictive.
Slot machines are addictive. People. Okay, so
we could just include a little bit of crack cocaine in each when we sell it. Like we only sell it as discs.
Okay.
So that's a new angle that we're taking. Novelty discs, no internet distribution.
Okay.
And it comes with a little bit of crack cocaine.
And on this disc is literally just a computer virus.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we
that
market
prints more discs and sells those.
We market to daredevils, right? People who in real life
think they can beat the virus.
Right, who get off to the idea that this game might fuck up my life, and that's where the enjoyment comes from. So it
might hack my Twitter.com.
Right. What could this game do that would be scarier than PT? You know how like you can install plugins? It's like the goose from Untitled Goose Game like follows around your mouse on your computer. What if it's that, but it's
so the
it's
virus
Lisa from PT.
Has a Lisa follow around.
It has a little
cursor.
Lisa who like.
See, is that scary or is that sexy?
Is that scary or is that sexy?
That's a good bit that we could use in later episodes. Is that scary or sexy? Mm-hmm. And then we watch videos and we decide is that scary or sexy, and that would make for very good radio.
That reminds me, I do have one note written down here that I figured, like, in case our podcast ever got dry this episode, which it clearly hasn't. So I need to now artificially inject this.
It's a little wet.
I wrote.
Where's my phone?
Exquisite corpse. You have the idea. You know what an exquisite corpse is? And
No.
I'm not talking about Lisa's exquisite corpse. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, dude. Chill out.
Oh wait, no. I just realized that there's like a gross implication of like being attracted to like a dead person, right? There's like a necrophiliac angle there a little bit.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Disclaimer:
Disclaimer: it has nothing to do with that. It's
just funny. It's
ironic.
funny. Mom, it's ironic.
When I was 12, I watched Ghostbusters, and the scene where Dan Aykroyd got a ghost job it like changed my life.
A ghost job?
Yeah, do you remember that scene?
I haven't seen this movie in long enough.
You haven't seen? You remember? So
I haven't seen it since I knew what a blowjob was.
So Dan Aykroyd, creator of Dan Aykroyd's Crystal Head Vodka,
fan of the show,
has a
friend of the show. Sorry, not fan. We're a fan of his. Is what I mean to say.
I believe it's in there's a montage sequence in the film Ghostbusters. It might be the one where the Ray Parker Jr. song, Ray Parker Jr. Bustin' Makes Me Feel Good,
Bustin' makes me feel good.
During that montage segment, each Ghostbuster is out doing their thing, and it's like, oh, this is what the Ghostbusters are up to. There's a whole segment that I'm sure Dan Aykroyd insisted on. He said, I can't release this movie without this scene where he's lying in his bed, and then a ghostly hand undoes his belt buckle, and then it cuts to his eyes as he goes cross-eyed.
Oh no, he did not Hygo face?
Yeah, he literally.
Oh no, you can't do that, Dan.
And so, of course, that changed my life. And when I think about Lisa PT, that's her last name. It has nothing to do with the fact that she's dead, more the fact
Lisa
that...
Penis Tease.
Oh... All right, so the virus game all it would do is it would include...
Jerk you off.
No, at the bottom of all of your emails, so there would be a little Lisa that follows around your mouse, and then at the bottom of all your emails, as soon as you send it, she pauses the send, she writes, I'm sexually attracted to dead people, and then sends the, email.
That's your signature now.
And that's exactly. It changes your signature to a random thing, but 9 times out of 10, it has to do with necrophilia.
There's 10 different options. 9 of them have to do with necrophilia.
Oh, that's good.
One of them has to do with Untitled Goose Game.
Okay, no, but actually, if we can twist this into a real thing, 9 times out of 10, it's a normal signature. It's like
sure, okay. It's like have a nice day.
Truthfully yours. I can't think of any.
It's no. Well, because this comes after the name.
Right.
It's Get Outlook for Android.
Right. Sent from my iPhone.
Sent from my iPhone. Right.
Yeah.
It's, and then those are 2 of them. And another one would be like, it would be like a really inspirational quote, like, sometimes I wake up and I think about was it all worth it?
Hang in there. All right, and then the 10th time is I'm sexually attracted to Lisa from PT.
I'm not like other guys.
All right, okay.
I want Lisa from PT to pee on my tea.
That's really gross, dude. You combined 2 fetishes there, and neither of them are pleasant.
Name one pleasant fetish.
Fetish?
Name one pleasant fetish.
The fetish is all right.
Don't say that. the fetish in the sink of PT.
What if it just grabs a random? Because we would have to auto generate the 10th, the shitty quote, right?
Sure.
So
okay.
What if we?
Well, so it's like Hylix. Have you ever seen that game?
No, what's that?
A lot of the dialogue is randomly generated in there.
Okay, all right.
But the real dialogue is written to sound like it's randomly generated.
Oh, yes.
So it's super hard to tell what's going on.
Okay.
The whole game is you're choofed out of your mind the whole game.
That's exactly where we're at with this game.
Yeah. That game is really cool. Hylix.
Okay.
I'm big into it.
This sounds like a good game. It would definitely have an audience.
Whether they like it or
not. Because people... You know what? You could just slap
Does it destroy your hard drive if you don't play it?
Oh.
Because there are those viruses that are that force you to solve Minesweeper, otherwise they delete your entire C drive or something.
Yeah, but it does it so you can see Lisa doing it. She floats over to your to the Finder and she grabs onto an icon and she's like, "Fucking send the thing, dude, or I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna get rid of it. You're never gonna see it again."
My 10 terabytes
of what, Glenn?
Corn pictures.
Okay.
Cornography, if you will.
We should come up with a name, right? Before we this pitch is solid. This pitch is solid, right? What's the name?
It needs to be playable. No, it can't be. It can be.
It could just be PT again.
Right, I know. I'm trying to think popular test.
Popular. Okay, so if the intention is to trick
popular
people,
tentacles.
No.
Because it spreads from computer to computer, like tentacles spreading out.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
If we're going for
popular totalitarianism.
All right. I mean, that's close, right? People like totalitarianism.
That could be the name. People like, and like isn't represented in the acronym.
Right. It's like lowercased.
Right. But it's not PLT. That's a sandwich.
That's a sandwich. The L could stand for Lisa. How about we call the game BLT? And it just stands for Bacon Lisa Tomato.
I'll bacon your Lisa Tomato.
All right, so I think that's I think that's it, right?
I'm baking Lisa's tomato right tonight.
Jesus,
you said it.
Not like that.
So we have to change it now.
But I was so happy with the name that I gave it. And I did to the point that I wasn't even paying attention to your name. What if we just didn't? I mean, we don't need an acronym, right? I mean, the game that was actually canceled was called Silent Hills.
SH.
Silent Shills?
SH?
Oh, I thought you meant add an SH to Silent Hills.
Nice.
So Silent Shills.
We could call this game Silent Shills.
That'd be a little confusing. You know what would make it less confusing is if we called it Silent Hill.
There's not a game called Silent Hill yet.
No.
We could call it Somebody Hates. Someone's Horror.
I don't think we've gotten better than Silent Shill or Bacon Lisa Tomato. Nobody would buy a game called Silent Shill, though.
Well, if we want to make money off of it, right? And if we're spreading it to people via email,
right?
Then we need to include some adware, so we can make money off of those ads.
Okay, all right.
So Silent Shills would make sense.
Be accurate then.
Yeah.
See, the thing
it's
is,
it's literally a silent shill. I mean, it doesn't make any noise.
Right. Okay. That's fair. And, I was thinking we would have to trick people into buying it, but like I said, if we're appealing to the Daredevil demographic, they want to know that it's gonna fuck them up, right?
And that it's a shill. We're sold out completely to Raid Shadow Legends.
And at that point,
other games are available.
Then we're clear. We're in the clear. We don't have to back ourselves up at all, because we said it's in the game. It's called Silent Shills, and you're the one that bought it, so don't come to us when it's not.
You're the one that opened that email.
Exactly. All right, Silent Shills.
You're the one that clicked that link.
Should Norman Reedus be in it? Is there a way we can because we already have, if Lisa's following your mouse, I would say Norman Reedus also, but that's too much.
Norman Reedus could do the voicing for this.
What voice?
Well, the first ever computer virus was it didn't really do anything.
It was Wayne Knight wagging his finger back and forth on the screen, going ah.
Basically, yeah. It was just it sang like a really obnoxious song, super loud.
Cool.
And so everyone in your office, back in the 90s, would have heard it, and it was really funny. And it only spread by basically it manifested on your computer so that whenever you inserted a disc into it, it would save itself to that CD.
Oh, okay.
And so when you gave that to somebody else, it would get on their computer and then be and then sing its song really loud on their computer as well.
So. But it would be Norman Reedus' voice. Yeah. What if Norman Reedus was just a text-to-speech program, when you purchase...
Norman Reedus.
Okay, how about this?
NormanReedus.exe.
What was it called? Silent Shills.
/run NormanReedus.exe in your
command prompt. So it's you buy it for the Norman Reedus voice pack.
Right.
It's not a full game. It's just a Norman Reedus voice pack.
Right.
But,
and he says stuff but when he says it, it's really cut together. What? Give me a line.
Hello world and welcome to development heaven.
Hello world and welcome to development heaven.
Bingo. So that's worth $20, right? I would pay $20 for that. I would pay for a year of PlayStation Network.
See, but we don't even have to hire him.
Right.
We just find all of his films, all of his voice acting, and we cut it together.
You know how long The Walking Dead has been on the air? I'm sure he said every word in the English dictionary at this point, right?
Right.
And then he's literally gonna get his own spin-off.
World and welcome to development heaven.
Right. So you're paying for a Norman Reedus.
You're paying for our labor.
You're paying for our labor. You're paying
for us to go into labor.
You're paying for us to take advantage of Norman Reedus and just his whole scene. But
Take advantage. I don't like that term.
no, I can't remember what's the word I'm looking for.
Capitalize on.
Capitalize.
Found it.
Pound it.
Do we need to pitch this game to Hideo Kojima?
I think you'd like it.
Okay, let's time travel, right? One final time travel. Grab my hand.
One last ride.
One last ride.
I'll tell you what though. I think I'm gonna send you alone on this one. I think this is a solo trip
no.
for you. Yeah, you're gonna go by yourself.
Oh no, Vincent! Wait, no! No!
Oh wow, who's this? It's me, Hideo Kojima. What are you doing here in my room? You're coming out of the wall like the Flash, in the in Batman v Superman. Remember when he comes out of the wall?
I haven't seen that movie.
You haven't seen Batman v Superman?
Kind of weird that Hideo Kojima is telling me about Batman v Superman.
Especially considering that we're in the past right now and
it hasn't come out yet. We're in the 90s.
And I'm the one from the past and you haven't even seen it. Cool. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Hey, it's me, Hideo Kojima. What? Hey.
Good impression.
Thanks, bud. But I don't. But what are you talking about? What do you mean impression?
Sorry, I thought you were somebody else. For a second.
I am.
You're the real thing. Authentic.
I am the real Hideo Kojima. It's. Let me see. I believe I grew up in Osaka, in Japan.
Right. I was about to quiz you. Because only the real Hideo Kojima would know where Hideo Kojima grew up.
Right.
What school did you go to, Hideo Kojima?
Right. So I went to.
It's probably under the education section of your Wikipedia page. I wouldn't know that, and no one else would. Only you would know that.
It doesn't seem like there's. I don't. I'm just a kid right now. I'm.
Oh, you're like a kid. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like 16 years old. I would say.
Is that for real?
Yeah, I'm like 16 years old.
What year were you born in, Hideo Kojima?
It's 1963. So if I was 16, that would make.
This is like the 79.
79. Yeah. So I'm just here. In my room, of course, you're coming out of the wall of that room.
Right.
I'm
Rick and Morty style.
No, more like the Flash from Batman v Superman. But that's okay. You haven't seen it. I
haven't seen Rick and Morty because it's after your time.
Right. Obviously. I'm just here. I'm hanging out with my best friend Guillermo del Toro.
Oh no! Really? How old is he?
He's also 16. I don't have his wiki up. He's just sitting next to me.
Can I be 16 too?
No. You're clearly older than that. You fuck.
Oh, right, and I've got I come bearing gifts.
Oh, is that so? Guillermo and I are drinking right now. Say hi, Guillermo.
But you're underage.
He doesn't want to say hi. He's shy.
Okay.
He's famously
but you're
shy.
Underage.
Yeah, but my mom is out of town. She's on a business meeting.
Okay, so it's like a party.
So we're just hanging out. We're watching Escape from New York on Betamax. Is Betamax? Yeah, it's around the same time. It's close. Yeah, something like that. And you know what we're drinking right now?
What are you drinking?
You haven't told me your name.
That was a little subversion there. I'm not sure if I'm okay with it.
You haven't told me your name yet, so I can't address you properly.
My name is Glenn Kuhn.
So, oh god. Oh, I didn't even think about
Glenn Son.
I haven't even thought about the honorifics. I don't know any of them. How would you... So I'm Hideo Kojima... Son.
Right.
Probably. I like.
Right. That's like just friend. Like.
And you think I would know them.
But you're 16, so you're definitely younger than me.
Right. You are some weird 21-year-old who's in my room.
With a bottle of wine.
Oh, what a coincidence. I'm also drinking wine. And so is my friend Guillermo del Toro.
Do you want to pour up?
Absolutely.
All right, let's pour up, Hideo Kojima. All right.
So you're just here now, huh?
I just came to hang out with you. I'm a big fan.
Oh, yeah? Name one thing I did in the future.
In the future?
Because I haven't done anything.
Is this where I give you the idea to make something?
Okay.
It's like a loop.
Right. But then it's like, yeah.
Where did the idea actually come from?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly. That's cool.
You're gonna make a game.
That's a fun fallacy.
You're gonna make a game called Snake.
Okay. Cool.
So you're gonna make a sequel to Blockade called Snake.
That's fun. I like that.
And then you're going to make Solid Snake, and then you're going to make Metal Solid Snake and Solid Gear. And he's going to say, kept you waiting, huh?
Yeah, none of that sounds right. Yeah, I don't know if I believe you on that
Snake
one.
Eater? That's mildly sexual.
So I'm not really paying attention to you.
I should hope not.
This is none of the things you're saying in real. Hey, so it's me, the real Hideo Kojima. What would you... So in real life, if you could interview me, what would you say to me?
In real life?
In real life, yeah. Or Guillermo del Toro, who's right next to me, and he'll whisper into my ear, and then I'll tell you because he's shy. He's shy.
Okay.
He's shy. You know, we're 16.
Right. Okay. Who would you say is your biggest inspiration? Hideo Kojima.
Oh.
And Guillermo del Toro.
Inspiration for what? Because I haven't made anything yet. So it's hard to tell you exactly.
You want to go into film right now?
Yeah, something like that. It's hard to tell you exactly what my inspirations are because I haven't made anything. But I would, I would tell you that my mom, I love my mom. She's a big inspiration for me. She's, like I said, she's on a business trip right now. Do you want to know what she does for a living?
Sure.
She's a secret agent, and her name is Solid Snake.
Okay.
I don't know if I would call, I don't know, maybe, I don't know if I would call that an influence or not, but she's, so there's that. My friend Guillermo del Toro. Mm-hmm. He makes...
Are we in Japan?
Yes.
And we're speaking English?
No.
I have a translator.
Sure.
And Guillermo also speaks English?
Guillermo primarily speaks Spanish, but I believe he can.
Well, yeah.
You put this microphone in front of me, Hideo Kojima, of course.
I did, yes.
What other question?
Now, do you know what a microphone is?
Why would I watch
TV, and they use microphones.
Absolutely, I love.
It records it onto tape.
You know, as a kid, I bought a Super 8 camera, and I would film home movies, and I would sell them to my classmates for a couple of yen a piece. And that's true about me, Hideo Kojima.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I think I know what a microphone is there, Glenn.
Cheers, Glenn.
Cheers, Guillermo.
So am I breaking the wall right now?
What? Oh, yeah, please come in. You've been in the wall the whole time.
No, I meant like am I breaking the law because I'm giving
breaking
alcohol
the law.
to minors?
I thought you said, am I in the wall?
I'm breaking the fourth wall. I'm also breaking the law because I'm giving alcohol to minors.
Is 16 might be the legal drinking age in Japan?
It's 18 in most places.
It is 18 in most places.
A few places have 16.
I should know that, but I'm a little drunk right now.
A
little tipsy.
As Guillermo del Toro, as Hideo Kojima, I mean, he's only 16, so one glass of wine is kind of a lot for him.
I'm only 16. You can address me.
You're only 16, so one glass
you.
of wine is kind of a lot.
Yeah. Well, no, we also have a whole bottle of wine here that we've been drinking. We've been
up
nursing
until this
all night.
Point.
Yeah.
What kind?
Yeah, it's called Radius. The brand.
So where did you import that from?
It's a Merlot.
It's an American wine, huh?
Is it an American? It might be. But I stole it.
West Coast.
But let me tell you, I stole it from my mom's liquor cabinet. Ooh.
It's a very 16-year-old thing to do.
Yeah. And I every time we take a drink, we replace it with water so that she can't tell that it's missing.
Right.
Yeah.
How long until she doesn't get drunk?
Well,
I don't know. I remember seeing there was like a math problem that was like how long could you do that before they wouldn't?
Right. And how long if you take apart a boat and then put more pieces of the boat, and then how long until it isn't the first boat? You know what I mean?
The Archimedes, ship of Archimedes or whatever.
Sure, dude. It's all Greek to me.
I know nice. I know my paradoxes.
Uh-huh.
I'm big on paradoxes. I bet you are too, Hideo Kojima.
Let me think.
See,
if it's 79, I know that Pinocchio's come out, so I definitely know about the whole Pinocchio's nose thing at this point, right?
So that's a paradox.
That's a paradox.
Right. You also know, I kind of feel like you're big into paradoxes because I know with using my powers of deduction, they are going to make a game in which you're in the same hallway the whole time, and every time you go downstairs, open a door, you're back in the same hallway. That's a paradox.
Let me tell you, that sounds like a boring game. Yeah, but yeah, I guess that is a paradox. Isn't that more? No, you're probably right.
What were we gonna say?
I don't know. I figured that would be more like is like MC Escher stuff paradoxical?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, all right. I feel like there would be like paradox to me feels
technically
more like,
there's 3 different types of paradoxes.
Okay, well, there you go. I guess paradox to me feels like exclusively like wordplay almost. Like,
right, that's
like
one of the
things
kinds.
don't add up. So,
like a married bachelor. Woo!
Right, so like something spatial like that feels like it should be different, doesn't it?
It's still a paradox, but it's a different kind.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
That's all I needed to hear. Me, Hideo Kojima. What's the future like, Glenn?
I don't know. I mean, we have computers in our pockets,
Wow.
and
Big
everyone.
Pockets.
What?
Big pockets.
Big pockets, right? Or little computers.
No. I can't fathom that. What is this, Star Trek? I winked. I can't do nonverbals.
We have computers in our pockets. We have instant communication with anyone, almost anyone, and we have depression. So there you go. Those are things that we have in 2020.
Glenn, it's 1979. And that's, I can't even.
We're talking like 40 years in the future, right? 41.
Oh.
That's math.
Wow,
right?
I'm gonna be 57 in the future. That's
probably at some point, right?
There's.
Do you think
at some point is my hand gonna disappear, or is it the other way around? Am I now influencing the future? Like when you go back, is it gonna be different? That's it, right?
You're gonna disappear out of a picture that I have.
You might disappear out of a picture, but then you go back to the future. And things might be different, right? Because of the way that
you said Back to the Future.
Because of the way that you've influenced.
As long as I build a train that can time travel.
Yeah, okay.
Then we'll be fine.
No, that makes sense. So, you are a game developer, I assume. Otherwise, you wouldn't be asking me these questions.
Well, there's not a word for that in Japanese.
There isn't a word for that.
Good thing we're speaking English.
Good thing. Yeah.
Was game developer a word in 1970s?
Listen, but it's like... Is this really the questions you would be asking the Hideo Kojima right now? Me, the Hideo Kojima?
Hey, Hideo Kojima.
I'm very confident in myself, which is why I consider myself the Hideo Kojima.
Right.
Guillermo del Toro, he's kind of shy. He's not as confident, but that's okay because I believe in him. I believe in his filmmaking prowess. He's gonna make a movie about
He's got like hands in the eyes of the dude.
Hands in the eyes, and you know what?
Eyes in the hands of the dude.
And
Hellraiser.
No, that's a different
Hellbenders.
thing. Hellboy.
Yep. Hellboy.
I don't know if Hellboy's come out at this point, but I bet he'll adapt it at some point, and that'll be fucking Ripper, guarantee it.
He'll probably read a comic called Hellboy and probably make a movie out of it.
Okay.
That seems like an apt prediction that
Listen,
Hideo Kojima would make.
He's my good friend. Also, Norman Reedus, but he couldn't be here tonight.
Right. Okay.
He's doing motion capture for a video game I'm working on called PT. We have him suited up.
Oh.
We're working on we're doing.
Now when do you plan on releasing?
We're doing it's going to take a while. But we're currently rigging like a full body rig, dick and everything.
Right. So that's a thing in 1979.
Yes. Because I'm making it a thing. I want to make.
So Hideo Kojima invented.
Don't tell Norman Reedus, but I really just want to get like a 3D scan of his dick. Is the point of this? That's the But I'm telling him I'm making a game called PT, and I might end up making it just because if I don't,
plausible testicles.
Exactly. What?
Plausible testicles.
I thought you were gonna say plausible deniability, and that would make sense.
But there's no T in deniability.
Oh, for PT.
Good one.
But I'm 16. I'm a little drunk.
Cheers.
Weren't you gonna pitch a game to me? Wasn't.
Okay, so I've got a game for you called Silent Shills.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know the term shills yet. That might not be around.
That's a good question.
Is
actually.
Effectively when somebody makes, so like TV, how they run ads to make money.
Yeah.
So shills is basically when a famous person sells out to those ad companies, and they make money off of it.
Those fuckers! How dare they?
See, but corporatism isn't a bad thing at this point. It hasn't gone rogue.
In the 70s?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, that's true. I just am a big fan of the craft, and so when I see it perverted by
advertising,
by money, yeah,
right,
it really boils my blood. Like, me, Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, definitely. So I would say that if you want, you can make a game.
Okay.
I'll give you this idea for free. All right, this one's on me.
Sure.
It's called Silent Shills.
I won't credit you.
Please don't.
Okay.
It's called Silent Shills.
That's a vocal contract.
It's about shills, right? It's about making money.
Okay, that doesn't sound like a game yet.
Using advertising, and it doesn't make any noise.
What?
It's silent.
Oh, because it's silent. Interesting. That's a new thing that you've added, Glenn.
No, I said that earlier.
Did you? All right,
Yeah,
all right.
you're just drunk.
Right.
So it gets on people's computers.
So what's the gameplay like?
So
Glenn?
it's got a ghost that follows your mouse around.
Oh, that's fun.
Her name is Lisa.
Lisa, I see.
And the only reason we know that is because by screaming Lisa into your mic is the only way that you can get... So you have to buy like a microphone to plug into your computer.
Okay.
I don't know if that's even possible at this point, but someday it will be possible.
Why not?
So purchase a microphone, a TV mic,
Mm-hmm.
and say into it, "Sorry, Lisa," and she'll go away.
All right, I'm following you so far. I'm with you.
This
makes perfect
You're following
sense.
me. Lisa's following the mouse.
Okay, all right.
Norman Reedus is doing the voice acting for it, but it's silent, so he doesn't have to say anything. And whenever you send an email, which is like a new thing that you can
Email,
do,
right. So you're going to have to explain email to me.
so you're going to have to connect to the ARPANET.
Okay, and that's new to me as well.
The ARPANET is something that the American military is using to send messages quickly.
Okay, I'm there.
It's sort of like a telegraph.
Okay, I know telegraphs.
So you're gonna have to connect to the ARPANET somehow.
Right. I'm sure I can figure that one out. Listen, I got that squared away for sure.
Eventually, it's gonna become the internet. It'll be a lot easier because anyone can connect to that.
Okay, I like that name. If I go ahead and get a patent on that now, I might make
You'll
some...
probably be pretty rich. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And so you can send messages to people. It's sort of like mail, but it's email because it stands for electronic mail.
Okay, I have a hard time believing you, quite frankly. It seems a little far-fetched, but...
Okay, but that little wish is following your cursor. You don't know what a mouse cursor is, do you?
I know what a mouse is. It's a small furry
Thank you
creature.
very much. That little witch that I was talking about, she's
Yes.
gonna hop on your email, on your electronic mail, and she's gonna go wherever you send it.
I believe Lisa is inspired by like specific Japanese folklore of like because there's
Really?
all sorts of like
Baba Yaga.
that's Russian, but there's all sorts of like Japanese ghosts and stuff. Lisa's sort of based on there's like two Japanese ghosts called the Yurei and the Ubume, who are like lady ghosts, lady spirits. One of them's a yokai. So that's interesting to me because I know those things. You were in the middle of telling me about Silent Chills. Apparently, at one point in the development of PT, Junji Ito was involved. Not PT, Silent Hills. At some point,
I would
Junji
believe
Ito was
that.
going to help out a little bit.
I'm an Ito fan.
Yeah, me too.
So Hideo Kojima is a big fan of Ito?
Absolutely.
I would believe that. Has he said that in an interview? Will he say that in an interview? Hideo
Probably.
Kojima? Will you say that in an email?
I actually think it was Guillermo, my friend Guillermo, who was who inspired by Junji Ito, and that isn't surprising if you look at like some of his scarier movies. There's clearly a lot of influence there.
Definitely, yeah.
Definitely, or at least there will be. Wink. You weren't done telling me about your game. It sounds like all we have so far is a voice pack by Norman Reedus, my friend Norman Reedus, and then a ghost that follows a small rodent. How is that supposed to work?
It's called Haunting.
Oh, come on, you fucker.
So, yeah, and then when you, it rides along on your mail. Imagine if, like, your mailman opened all your envelopes and put a little some extra in every envelope that you sent.
Okay, I think it's illegal, but I can't imagine it. You're doing a very good job describing this for me, a boy in 1979.
So, yeah, basically when you have electronic mail, we do the same thing, but you don't need a middleman to do that. We just kind of slip it in there.
Okay.
And the little lanyard that we add in there is such that when you send it to somebody else, it gets in all of their mail. And when they send it to somebody else, it gets in all of their mail.
Okay, it's like a virus.
Like a virus.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Like coughing in somebody's face.
Yeah. You still haven't described to me what this game does.
Not much. Not much of a game there.
Okay.
It's just kind of a voice pack.
Sure.
It makes money.
Uh-huh.
Because it's got ads. And it's called Silent Chills.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's silent. See, it's literally viral.
Right.
In every sense of the word. It goes from person to person, and they can't stop it. They can't do anything about it other than let it run its course.
All right.
No vaccine.
Sure. I think people in 79 still did vaccines and didn't have any problems with it, so that makes sense to me.
It's a little scary.
Right.
All right, so people who like thrillers would be into this.
Sure. Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Right. People who really like to be frightened that they might lose all the data on their expensive computer would be frightened by the fact that they would be enthralled even by the fact that they might lose anything by this dangerous virus that is threatening their computer.
And does this virus by any chance like leave messages in the email? Like does it say things that might like ruin a person's
normally, like I said, it attaches their email and spreads that way. Right. Normally it leaves a little bit of breadcrumbs saying like, get Outlook for Android or sent from my iPhone.
Okay.
Which doesn't make any sense to you. That's just gibberish.
I know what androids are. That's robot men.
It's the thing, right. It's the thing from Isaac Asimov.
Yes, of course.
Right.
I'm
Big
very
fan.
familiar with the works of Isaac Asimov.
Right. So androids.
Sure.
Also.
Androids send emails.
iPhones. Phones are the things that you talk on.
Okay. And the I means.
Like eyeball.
Okay, that makes sense. That's basically how I pictured the future, so this is all lining up for me.
It's like a phone where you can see the person that you're talking to.
Yeah, why not? Fuck
iPhone.
it. Sure, who cares? Leave a little post-it note for your podcast partner in the future. And then he can invest in something
What's
or whatever.
podcast? It's a lot like a radio show.
Okay, yeah. I think you must have explained it at some point. You've said podcast, I hope. Otherwise.
I have not.
Huh.
You're just drunk.
The time stream is getting a little wonky here. I'm losing you a little bit. It seems like you're fading back through that wall. There's like lightning, I assume from the Speed Force, shooting out of the wall right now. That you're. What's
the Speed Force?
It's like the Flash from Batman v Superman. It's like the Flash, what he said when he was traveling back in time. Frank Miller. I've been following Frank Miller really closely, so I know what he's up to.
Right. I'm not unconvinced that you don't have a time machine.
Why would you say that?
I'm not convinced you don't have a time machine.
Now, where are you getting that from? I don't even know what that means, time machine.
The thing is, I'm going to come back to the future, and none of the things that we talked about today are going to exist.
Yeah. And you think that's because I have a time machine?
No, it's because I told you about them, and you're like, "That's stupid," and intentionally avoided that.
Because you're just like a big kid. You're like a big kid, and I'm intimidated by big kids.
Right.
I'm
giving you alcohol. I'm giving you wine. I'm breaking the law.
That's true. You're definitely breaking the law right now.
Japanese law?
Probably.
I feel like Hideo Kojima would know. He would be involved in local politics.
No, I just kind of keep to myself.
Well, yourself and
Guillermo del Toro. He's the only one that's supporting me. All my other friends don't believe I can be a filmmaker.
Guillermo del Toro.
And you're telling me I want to make video games. Like, what is that even? I want to make films.
You're going to make things like Blockade.
Yeah, I want to make
for arcade.
Yeah, that.
You ever been to an arcade?
Probably. I mean, arcades didn't really get big until the 80s, but they existed,
small ones,
I imagine. Yeah. So yes, and I played the fuck out of Blockade. And I can't wait to
see Snake.
To see Snake, who I have, of course, named after my mother, Solid Snake, who I love and cherish.
Snake Eater.
I hope nobody eats my mom.
That's my dad.
Ugh. I think that's it. I think I'm losing you. You're going back through the time stream.
Yeah, the things you're saying don't make any sense right now.
No, that's it. You've obviously lost the continuum or whatever. The lightning again, Speed Force. So it's been tight, my friend. If there's anything you want
It's been real. It's been fun. It ain't been real fun.
If there's like a message that you want to leave for your co-host in the future, I would write it on this right now, and then I'll make sure he gets it.
Okay.
And I'll make sure he doesn't rip it up like Doc Brown.
Right.
And if he does, I'll make sure he tapes it back up like Doc Brown.
Right. Who's Doc Brown?
From Back to the Future. I have a time machine.
Okay.
I have a time machine.
All right, I'm going to write you a message.
All right. Me or your co-host?
No,
Vincent?
you.
Okay. You could just tell me, couldn't you? No? All right.
This is so bad.
Okay.
All right, so I've written a message to Hideo Kojima.
Okay. I'll make sure that Vincent Marinelli gets this in the future. I'll be there at his birth. I'll be there at his birth and hand it to him, and I'll say, don't open this until October 31st, 2020.
Right. Until you're recording your Halloween episode with Glenn Cagle.
I'll tell him all that. And I'm losing you. You're goodbye.
Oh, no.
Glenn, goodbye. So, Glenn, it's me, Vincent Marnelli.
Hey, Vincent, you sound a lot like my friend Hideo Kojima.
No, I don't think that's true. So I have this note that your friend Hideo Kojima...
It's like in an envelope. You haven't opened it.
No, I haven't opened
the envelope. You got it at birth.
I'm just going to take a quick peek at that because it seems like...
You got it at birth, but you haven't opened it yet because Hideo Kojima...
No, I did rip it up. I did rip it up because I didn't want to know the future. And my hand started disappearing when I looked at the paper, but then I taped it back up.
Because Hideo Kojima told you to.
Because he told me to. And so now I'm going to open this up for the first time since 1979. And
the first time since you ripped it up.
So here we go. I'm looking at it now. Glenn, it's a picture of your cock.
How would you know what my cock looks like?
Glenn, you've handed me... So it appears that this is a picture of your penis. I know it's yours because your face... Wait, I thought you were
talking about my rooster.
Your face is also in this picture.
I have like a rooster and some hens at home.
Your rooster and hen is in this picture, as well as your penis.
Uh-huh.
I don't know where this picture came from. I don't know who took it.
Probably Hideo Kojima.
You think Hideo... I don't think Hideo Kojima would have done this.
Maybe Guillermo del Toro.
Listen, he was there at my birth.
We were a little tipsy. Guillermo del Toro had a camera.
Okay,
I said, wouldn't it be funny if...
Folks, I think that's the show. Actually, you know what, though? I don't have a clean way to end the show. Glenn, I think you said you had some fun facts, right?
I have some fun little facts. I didn't know we were going to be talking about PT as much as we did.
Right.
So I just kind of looked up some like basic Halloween facts.
That's fine. Does it have anything to do with like the development of Halloween?
Not Halloween itself.
Not Halloween itself.
Well, I can talk about that. It was actually invented by the Druids in like England.
I know.
In, like Britain.
Around what time do you think?
Well, Wales, I think. I don't know.
Okay, all right, that's fine. I'm putting you on the spot. I know a fun thing about the development of Halloween is that instead of pumpkins that we used to carve, it used to be turnips.
Okay.
And they were fucking really creepy looking.
Yeah,
because you didn't hollow them out.
Pumpkins are are native to the Americas.
Okay,
so for the Druids living in the British Isles, it was they didn't have pumpkins obviously because that's an American thing. Yeah. So they used, I guess, turnips or whatever they had. Maybe some gourds, maybe some squash or something.
So you couldn't hollow out a turnip. So you literally just carve scary little teeth into it.
Yeah.
If everybody at home, if you aren't too drunk or you aren't driving, again, please don't drink and drive.
Or listen to our podcast
No, you can listen to our podcast and drive just as long as you're responsible about it. This has been a PSA. To me, druid means plant person. What does druid mean if not...
Oh, it's like a religion.
It's like a religion? All right, that's all I needed.
Yeah.
So what are your fun facts, Glenn? Because that wasn't one of them. That was just on the fly.
That was just... and my... Druid... It's kind of fun because the Druids were like... I think they were in like Ireland and Great Britain before Catholicism got big there in Ireland. Catholics all over the world kind of like merged with their cultures of that region.
Right.
So in Ireland, this was All Souls Day on October 31st and All Saints Day on All Hallows Eve, along with the Druid holiday of like the Harvest Festival or something like that.
Okay.
I don't actually know what it's called, but they merged those two together and it became Halloween, which I think is a mispronunciation of All Hallows Eve.
I've heard that before. It's something like that.
Something like that. But yeah, they took traditions from both and put them together. A lot of holidays, a lot of secular-ish holidays are kind of like that anyway, which is interesting to me at least. But that was not one of my fun facts.
Right.
So Vincent.
Yes.
Not too long ago, me and a good friend of mine were looking into vampire lore and different vampires and their respective weaknesses.
Oh, yeah.
So in every lore, vampires have different weaknesses. Some of them are goofy, some of them are fun, some of them are, frankly, I don't want to think about.
Sure.
So, you see your classic ones, like stabbed in the heart with a stake, a wooden stake, specifically. Some of them, it's holy water. In others, it's like the sign of the cross, like burns them or whatever. Sunlight, of course.
There's
garlic.
One about not letting them into your house.
Not letting them into your house.
There's one about throwing rice at them.
Rice, sure. Some of them get stuck on like salt or something, but that's like ghost. Or some of them like don't like silver. Right. They go out. They sometimes they get a little weird with it. Mm-hmm. By far the weirdest one we saw was some vampires. One in particular His
it
weakness.
Dracula?
His weakness is becoming soggy in milk.
Was the vampire Captain Crunch?
So,
Is Captain Crunch a vampire?
so we had to think to ourselves, like, what does that fucking mean?
Yeah.
To become soggy in milk.
Yeah.
Have you ever become soggy in milk, Vincent?
I haven't. My breakfast cereal has.
Yeah. So can you think of a vampire whose weakness would be becoming soggy in
Is
milk?
it Captain Crunch?
It is Count Chocula.
You fucker.
So this is actually on the Wikipedia article for like vampire weaknesses in vampire lore.
Uh-huh.
One of them is literally listed as made soggy in milk, and it doesn't list which vampire
Right.
that weakness belongs to.
No,
so you're just left to guess until you figure it out.
I mean, okay. Here's where I'm at with that. That's a fun fact. You got me there. That fact, fun. My problem with it is that it discredits Count Chocula as a member of the vampire community. Because
He's a peer of vampires.
yes. So when you think about it, right? A vampire.
He's a count. He's pretty wealthy.
That's the thing. Vampires in media. Who do you got? You got Dracula.
Sure. Alucard.
Alucard would be number 2.
Nosferatu.
I guess Nosferatu's number 3, but Nosferatu is just an adaptation of Dracula. Once
Sure.
again, it's basically the same character.
They're all adaptations of Vlad the Impaler.
Yes, and that's the thing. Like there aren't. I mean, I like the TV series What We Do in the Shadows, but and also the movie, but like, lore, pop culture, impact wise. Mm-hmm. The 3 vampires that I think have the greatest like sway in media ever are Dracula, Nosferatu, and Count Chocula. I can't think of do you know what I'm saying?
Sure, yeah, okay.
So why not? I mean, it's all made up. So why wouldn't?
Who's the vampire from like? I'm sure there's like Disney Disney Channel originals. I feel like they had some vampires on there.
I never really.
What about Vampire Diaries?
Okay.
Or Edward, was he a vampire from?
Oh, I didn't even think about Twilight. So
Twilight's pretty influential.
You're right. Twilight, I might even say.
Am I saying the wrong one? One of them's a vampire, one of them's a werewolf.
Edward's the vampire.
Cool.
Jacob's the werewolf. Bella is
A
the
human.
daughter, and Charlie is her dad.
What is it? What?
Her dad's name is Charlie.
I don't
He's the
care
best.
about that.
I just watched all the movies recently.
Have you really? Okay, I've never seen them. They look horrible.
They aren't great.
The scenes I've seen from them look like trash.
Yeah, no, they're not. I mean,
they're poorly written.
We're moving into hot on cold territory because nobody gives a shit about Twilight anymore, my friend.
Well, I don't know. Like, Vampire Lore, I just thought it was funny. This is a comedy podcast.
Yeah.
Made soggy in milk. That's our new slogan.
That's our slogan.
Right. So I've got one more. This is actually a development thing.
Okay.
Hey, Vincent.
Hey, Glenn.
So in the past, you told me that the noise the Endermen make in Minecraft, like, kind of skeeves you out.
A little bit.
It's pretty freaky. I won't lie. I mean, when I was a kid, the first, like, Enderman used to freak me the fuck out. Mostly because I didn't know how they worked.
That's fair.
I knew that, like, you weren't supposed to look in their eyes, but I didn't, like, know what that meant, so I just kind of avoided them.
Just avoided them entirely.
Mm-hmm. How does it know if I'm looking in his eyes? You know?
When I was in middle school, there was nothing that scared me more than the Slenderman.
Slenderman, okay. I was never a Slenderman guy.
I was a... I'm glad I'm saying this on air so that it will stay with me forever. I was a huge creepypasta guy. I was just crazy about the things.
A pastafarian, if you will.
Yeah, sure, dude. Couldn't get enough of these wacky stories. Jeff the Killer, sign me up. Anyway, so Enderman, I'm right there with you. What's your fact?
So the sounds that they make are it turns out the Endermen just want to be your friend. The sounds that they make are a person saying hi or what's up or a few other things just played backwards.
Okay. Huh? Is it?
I'm sure
surely it's sped up,
distorted, sped up.
It has to be. I believe. That's interesting. They just want to be your friends. Glenn, do you believe in ghosts? Have you ever witnessed a ghoul?
No, Vincent.
Spectral phenomena. Have you ever been on the receiving end of a ghost job?
See, now that last one there, I feel like is a little bit different than the others.
I mean, if you answer yes, you answer all the other questions.
Sure. What's the most ghoulish experience I've ever encountered? That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I was in scouts for a while, so we just had a whole bunch of fun, walking around the woods making noises and scaring little kids. And I'm sure I had the same thing happen to me. But I've never been like a ghost guy. I've never been somebody to get jumpy at ghosts.
I had a thing where I was in I was in scouts as well. Heyo. I remember it was a camp. There was I had to poop in the middle of the night. I went to the sort of, it was one of those things where it's like made of wood. It's essentially an outhouse, but there isn't a door. You like go into it and you curve around.
Right.
It's like,
okay.
You know what I'm talking about. And there's a hole in the ground that you just shit in.
Sure.
And I remember I was pooping in that. I was going back to the camp. And I just I heard something next to me. Like it sounded like.
Okay.
And I was a kid and I was freaked out, and so obviously I could be making this up, but it really did sound like there was something walking next to me, like in the woods outside of the beaten path, And so I started running, and obviously it sounded like it was chasing me.
It was probably like your own footsteps.
Almost certainly my echo, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But that freaked me out. I do think I've seen a ghost.
Oh, crazy! It started running exactly when you did.
Yeah, I know, right? I do think I've seen a ghost. I don't believe in ghosts, but I had
don't say that or they'll get you.
I had a spectral experience once.
What's that?
I used to get a lot of sleep paralysis. A lot. Okay, it happened to me a couple times, but every time
That's
it's
very ghastly.
Weird. Yeah, I mean, the first time it was the classic, you couldn't even make out the shape. It was just a large void, like an orb that essentially just sat, I almost said shat, but it sat on my chest and I couldn't breathe. But one of the times I got sleep paralysis, I was in my freshman college dorm, and I listen to podcasts while I go to sleep. Mm-hmm. Kind of a podcast guy, and I like to listen to podcasts when I go to sleep. I had it on. I dozed off. I woke up in the middle of the night. It was like my eyes.
Creepypastas.com, right?
Creepypastas.com. I was kind of on my side, facing. My bed was up against the wall, so I was facing my room.
Okay.
And my eyes were adjusting a little bit. I woke up. I couldn't, I couldn't move, sleep paralysis, but I could see. I could look around. My arm is sticking out of the sheets because I'm sleeping on my side. And there's a little ghost girl holding my hand.
Oh, weird.
She's literally right next to my bed.
Okay,
I can't
wacky.
see her face, but she is. She's short and she's just classic. Your run of the mill little girl, and she's literally. I can't move my head. Can't move. Yeah. Actually. It totally. She was wearing a dress like the little girls in The Shining.
Sure. Okay.
I couldn't move anything, so my arms are sticking out, and she's just holding my hand, and I can hear I see my phone. I can hear the sound coming out of it. It's not a podcast. It's radio static.
Oh.
I'm just hearing words occasionally, a little girl's voice.
Okay.
She says "daughter" a couple of times.
Okay.
And that's it. And then at one point, I just woke up. It was weird.
That's pretty spooky.
Sleep paralysis is just weird like that. Sometimes it's shapes, and sometimes it's a little ghost girl, I guess. How about cryptids?
Cryptids?
I'll tell you what, I love cryptids. I'm crazy about those wacky creatures.
Crazy about cryptids.
Every state has a cryptid.
So what's the one for Georgia?
That's the thing. It's one of those. It's a Loch Ness monster ripoff. It's
really. I thought it was gonna be a Squatch ripoff.
No, it's some sort of.
There's no natural lakes in Georgia though.
Yeah,
which is weird. Well, okay, so the lakes in Georgia are actually kind of freaky because a lot of them have houses and stuff on the bottom.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, they're not natural lakes; they're man-made, meaning they literally had to flood an area.
Sure. To
create them by damming a river. And a lot of times that not only dammed the river, but also damned the residents living there. Heyo.
Damn.
Yeah. So some of the lakes in Georgia, you can actually dive down to the bottom and find houses, churches, parks where people used to play, and it's kind of freaky.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the show. Let us know if we scared you, if we gave you a little fright tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say thank you for sticking with us.
It's been rough.
Hey, fuck off. It is Halloween. There's every horror movie you could be watching right now. So if you've chosen solicit us. We really do appreciate it. We appreciate you. If you want to screech out to us, our email is developmentheaven@gmail.com.
If you like the show, let us know. You can do so via Twitter @DevHevPod. And you can also join our Discord. Both of those will be linked in our description. So if you want some more Development Heaven, you can sink your teeth right into those.
Ooh, good. Wanted to thank Matthew Ennie and Natalie Quick. They did the work on our normal logo and our cover art and all that, and they also helped us on this amazing Halloween art, which is spooktacular. It's amazing. So thank them. Thank you guys so much.
Show them some love. They're linked in our description as well.
Absolutely, check them out.
And thank you to you for listening. Tell your friends. That's what we need.
Right.
Spook them out. Send them this episode if you think it's funny.
Send them this episode if you want to give them a fright.
If you don't think if you know, it'd be kind of weird to send them this episode after Halloween in November. You know, they're probably thinking about Thanksgiving. So maybe send them like one of our other episodes that you think is really funny.
And Glenn, we're in your room. You're sitting in front of your your Casio keyboard. If you want to go ahead and
Casio.
What is it? It's a Yamaha.
It's a Yamaha.
Go ahead and play us out, my friend.
All right. I don't know what you want.
I want you to play music until you're tired.